Within this section, I'm going to be evaluating my work as an individual in the cast, and us as a whole cast ensemble. Overall, I think I was quite a strong member of the cast, due to some very simple factors of, I tried to give all my involvement in giving 100% energy all of the time I was on stage, while trying to keep a focused outlook and work while off the stage. So I did, for the most part, watch most of the other scenes, so I knew what was going on for myself, as I was quite frequently mentioned. For instance, at just after my exit before Caleria's poem, I'm talked about by Varia and Martha, who talk about my childhood very briefly, only for a few lines, but if I was not paying attention and watching that while on the sides, I would not have known that Martha already knows about my past. So when I say it to her later on, it's not as a big of a shock for her, as she does know about it all. I like to remind the other cast members who may have not been paying any attention that they had a cue coming up, as I was often following on the script. For instance, me and Megan, who had a scene together, I would often come and remind her, or if there's someone at the side that I think's just not paying attention at this current moment, I would remind them they're coming on in so many pages. I found that because we had quite a few set changes, and we'd often lose the energy and pace if we were stopping to change, I'd be ready at the side to change the sets as they particularly affected my character during the changes, so that it would speed up the whole process and we'd make the best use of our rehearsal time. I like to double check my entrances with Adam, as he had them all down and I was not 100% on them. I would always go over and check before my entrance if I was unsure, so that it didn't delay any of the rehearsal process and it wouldn't confuse his work, as he's also a student and he can't take responsibility for the actors messing up. I also stepped in on a few occasions when other people weren't there, particularly Ben, our Year 12 ensemble member, when he had to play the character of the gentleman. I stepped in a few times when he wasn't there, just so we weren't stopping to have a conversation about that and we would just get on and do the work. I also had to step in at one time when Joden was off ill for a while and we needed to run a few of his scenes for the other characters. Although we did create a very successful show overall, I feel as a whole cast we could have done a lot more together, as certain characters and relationships were built up quite well and correctly. We did have a whole lacking as an ensemble. There was definitely a divide between the male and females within the building of relationships, as for simple factors like the name of the doctor, the auntie, and Isaiah's character, Max. No one had ever decided or knew fully what they had decided as the name. So as a whole cast, I feel we were lacking, as we definitely didn't have a big enough respect for each other. As well as a whole cast, I think we were very slow on lines and cues and things like that. Things that we should do as our own work. We never saw it as that. We saw that as, oh, I'll learn that later. I don't need to know that yet. That can come up then. We were delaying a lot of our work and the time very much came up on us quite quickly, which I feel is very unfair on our director and our stage management team, as we were just being sloppy actors overall. Despite this, I do feel that we did create a very successful show together, and I was very pleased with the overall outcome.